Hello friends, I welcome you again into this new course, which is the course on psychology of language. Now I have done courses before on basic psychology, but this is a very interesting course. Here what I will be doing is we will be studying language, and that is very interesting. Now this course is meant for all those people who would like to understand what is language and understand the psychological principles behind it. Understand that this course is not a detailed course on linguistics, and that should not be expected out of it. So all those people who would like to understand what is language, that is the psychology behind language, how language is a cognitive phenomena, those people should be enrolling into this particular course. So let us introduce very briefly what this course is all about, what I will be doing in it, and what is the whole idea of psychology of language. Let us start with what is language. Now starting with the Big Bang. Before the Big Bang everything was just one, but as the Big Bang happened, the whole known universe split into many parts, and so if many parts, they needed to talk to each other. Each part cannot survive on its own, and so when two people or two entities need to talk to each other or need to communicate to each other, the idea of language comes in. And so the very basic form of language is called the communication. And so what is communication all about? Communication is expressing ideas or exchanging ideas, right. So the course will explain to you how this communication, which is, let us look at a basic communication system. Let us look at how the cows talk to each other or the dogs talk to each other. They bark, but these barks, if you look at a cow bark, the dog bark, this dog bark is very limited. They have limited form of barks and limited types of barks, and they can exchange only limited ideas. But we as humans, we can pass out or we can transfer a lot of information among each other. So our communication system, which we call human language, is a lot different from the communication system of the animals. So what we will do in this course is we will look at what are these differences, we will look at what is language composed of. Now let us say I write the word dog. Now this is the English form of it. I can write the word Hund, which is the German form of it, Sheen, which is I think the some other language form of it, or some other language would call the dog in some other manner, or I can write in Hindi, which is another form of it. Now look at it, all these letters, all these words mean different, all these words, all these letters are different, all these alphabets are different, and they have different pronunciations as well. The way we speak is different. We say dog, we say Hund, but ultimately all of them are connected by one basic form, one basic semantics, and that is the four-legged animal. So whether I say kutta or I say dog or I say Hund or I say Sheen, what I am meaning is a four-legged animal which is a man's best friend, and how this is a pet and you love it and so on and so forth. This is the main property of one property of language, which is using arbitrary letters. These are arbitrary letters, using arbitrary symbols to produce semantics or to produce a concept and how they are linked together. What this course is going to do is take you into this interesting journey of how written language is processed by the brain, or how spoken language. So when I say I ate my food, what is the meaning of this? When it combines together, I ate my food, what does it mean, and what individual words mean, how they combine together, what are the rules of combining them, what are grammatical rules, what are syntactic rules, how many types of reading and writing systems are there. For example, the Chinese made images like this in writing, and some other forms write the proper text. So how many writing systems are there? How do we read? How does the brain understand this reading and writing? How different language, how people with mastery in different languages, how do they fare the world? all these details, all these facts will be captured in this particular course on the psychology of language. So, on one end we'll teach you what language is all about, what are its various characteristics, how this should be dealt with, or what is the meaning of each thing, and what is the fun with language, because for anything we do, when I am speaking to you right now, I am using language. When you are hearing me, you are hearing it in terms of language. The notes I have provided is in written form of language, and so we are using language for doing anything and everything in this world, and this language is somehow shaped on or based on the cognitive systems that we have. So, this course is ultimately going to focus on the language the language cognition, understanding the language, what are the various factors into it, and with a lot of specificity and a lot of fun around, we will start looking at the different characteristics of language, different types of language, and deal with the meaning of language, or what does language mean. So, we start this course by looking at a little bit of the history of language. We then move to the science of language, how do we do experiments in language. We look at how language is produced and language is perceived. We look at the various steps in language production, in basically in the English language, for example, looking at the speech sound to the words, to forming sentences, to forming discourse which is talking, and so on and so forth. We look at the reading and writing systems, and ultimately we will deal with how people with multiple language fare all this. So, if you are one of those people who is interested in learning what is language, who is interested in learning a little detail into what is language, or exploring a little bit into what different languages mean and how the written languages that we have or the spoken languages that we have, how it is produced and what they mean, you are very welcome to this course. And the structure that I have defined is that we will do this structure in 20 languages. So, I welcome you all, whoever is interested in understanding a little bit about language, or how language is related to cognition, and what can we do with this science. I welcome you all to this particular course. Thank you.